Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Union City School Communications Director Mike Hutchens. No stranger to the program for sure.
You know, Charles, I expect my own desk in here. We've been doing this so long and certainly have had such a good relationship. It's kind of like riding a bike. Every year you show up at the same place and we do the same things and get to talk about Union City schools and get to enjoy our friendship.
In many years you were a guest when you were writing sports for the Messenger.
Writing sports for 35 years at the Messenger. This will start my 8th year at Union City Schools, so people can do the math. I'm an old guy, and from someone who is an old guy to a guy like you just celebrated number 65 or whatever. We got a lot of things in common here, Charles. We're trying to get to the finish line and trying to do a good job and have a good attitude.
Getting closer to being the old
guy. Yes, I am.
Mike used to come in every year, and we did the football preview for the year, and now we're doing the school updates. But I have to admit, in all the appearances that you've made over the years, I've never been out anywhere when somebody said, "Man, Hutch on again."
I don't know if that's good or bad, Charles.
Yeah, I haven't had anybody make that comment. They enjoy you being on the program. Well, it is good to have you on, and schools are back in session here in Union City.
Back in session, Charles. We started classes. First day of in-person classes was Monday of this past week, and good enrollment numbers. Actually, our figures are up. Now, I know a lot of folks in the area do not have that right now, and we're very fortunate. Got a really big kindergarten class and a really big second grade class at Union City Schools, about 150 kids in each of those classes, and that's a good problem to have. We've hired some new teachers. We got some new personnel in place here. We had about 4 days of professional development activities for our teachers last week. We had a lot of training, state-mandated training. We also spent some time together, kind of almost like team building, and better together is our motto this year. And had a wonderful day, the first day of professional development. Got to meet all of our new people. Had a little fun scavenger hunt for the teachers and personnel. We're able to give out some nice prizes, and certainly always everybody has a great attitude at the start of the year, and we hope that continues throughout the school year.
Back to what you said about the big classes in the younger groups, that sure does paint a real good picture of the future, doesn't it?
It does. You know, and Charles, word of mouth advertising is still the best advertising, I believe, and Union City Schools deservedly has a good reputation, I think, not only in our community but in the surrounding areas. They know that if you come to Union City Schools, you can find your niche, whether it's academics, whether it's athletics, whether it's the arts. We offer something for everyone, and I think it starts in the early grades. I know you'll see some comments over the year about, hey, these test scores are great, but it all starts in the younger grades and getting into good habits and the good routines. And we have people in our elementary school, whether it be faculty, staff, administration, that do a great job of getting our kids on the right path at an early age.
Director Wes Kennedy reported at school board meetings here recently of slight increases the past couple of years, but he said that was a good way instead of having an overwhelming amount, and they were kind of spread out, so it didn't affect teacher-student ratios. That's pretty good.
It is good, and I think you have to look at the big picture in situations like that, Charles. Obviously, you want to have some continuity. You want to have some consistency, and I think we have. Again, we're in a situation to where we've got a little bit over 1,700 kids in our school system right now, and that's all 3 campuses included. And, you know, we have a nice break at each level, and our elementary certainly is growing right now, and then our middle school, which I think is a great transition from elementary to high school. I think that's a very important time in our young people's lives. They continue to be strong and steady there. We have new administration there this year. And then getting over to the high school, I know a lot of folks focus on sports and athletics. We're back up to 2A this year after several seasons in Class A. So our enrollment figures have brought us up there. We're over 400 in the high school now. And again, I think this will be probably our last real small senior class. I think our numbers are going to be up there where they have been in the past several years, to where our high school numbers are going to be between 4 and 450, and we're looking forward to that.
You mentioned the professional development day for the staff that is just a huge spirit lifter for everyone over there. And I think it's no secret that you guys probably do it a little different than most other schools.
We do. And Charles, it's almost like a professional pep rally. There is a lot of excitement. There's a lot of folks that look forward to it each year. Mr. Kennedy does a great job. And you and I have talked about this before, providing incentives. I think we live in an era right now to where just giving someone a job and expecting them to show up on time and to be there every day is kind of a lost art, and you have to provide incentives for your people. And I know each of our faculty members received a gift card for $150 worth of groceries at E.W. James. He put $100 in each of their lunch accounts. We had drawings and we had prizes on that first professional development day. We gave away gift cards to Walmart and to the tea place right around town. We gave away overnight stays at Paris Landing. We gave away trips to see UT play football. We gave away trips to concerts at the Carson Center in Paducah, and just things that really brought a lot of excitement. And then you hand out the swag with sweatshirts and dress shirts, and people get really excited about little small things like that, and it makes them feel valued. Charles, we have a big breakfast, and people get to talk about what they did for the summer, the school plans for the year, and then we get into the business at hand, which is educating our young people. And we have a lot of training, and again, I think these are some very important times. It allows us to network. This year we did a scavenger hunt, and Lance Morgan, who is our new director of teacher and learning, I thought he did a great job. Sometimes you get focused on where you are, whether you teach at the middle school or the high school. You know that building top to bottom, but you don't know what's going on at the other campus. This activity allowed our teachers to go to the other campuses and look at things and observe things there and kind of be part of that scavenger hunt activity. And I thought it was really good as far as bringing everybody together in the unity.
Speaking of campus and facilities, we're going to have an upgrade at War Memorial Stadium, aren't we?
We are going to have an upgrade at War Memorial Stadium. It'll happen, Charles. We'll begin that as soon as the upcoming football season ends, when we play our last game, whether that's in the regular season, whether it's in the playoffs there. We're going to have all new home bleachers. It's going to be handicap compliant. We're going to have a new press box. We're going to have all new fencing around. Really, just a nice upgrade to kind of get our stadium up with the times. We try to add a little bit. You remember a couple of years ago we added the new track. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to have some new lights, which I think are much needed to kind of width throughout the fields. There's some dark places there, and that's partly security things, and that's partly, again, upgrading. I think you'll be really pleased with our new lighting system. And again, I just think it brings our facilities. We were one of the first ones to have the indoor facility around here, Charles, and we've done a great job, I think, of giving our people the opportunity to have success and to succeed by giving them the tools that they need. And the practice facilities, the game facilities, the weight rooms are all part of that.
So it will be demolished and rebuilt by the time we play football the next year.
That is correct. Again, we'll start as soon as we can. Steel's already been ordered. We kind of got ahead of the game there as far as the tariffs and what might be the costs or whatever to try to control that. And, again, I think there's so much that goes into that. And I know Mr. Kennedy does a great job of staying ahead of the game a little bit and trying to plan for the future. We know what we have right now, and certainly we want to build on that and make it better for the future.
Got the new scoreboard not too long ago also.
We did. Nice. We did. The new video board. And again, I think you look around in our facilities. Don't forget our sports management turf. I mean, wow, what a great job those guys do there. It's immaculate. Our fields have always been good, and that's practice fields. It's the baseball fields. It's, our band fields and our high school football field. It's shared by several of the Pee Wee teams, the junior high team. And, again, I think when you talk about facilities, I think Union City ranks certainly in the upper echelon of facilities in West Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that. And what is the latest update about the new safe room for the community?
We're really excited about that, Charles, and that was certainly a project that was kind of quietly put together, and I think that people are going to really enjoy that. Office will be multi-purpose with the safe room component and the gymnasium. Anytime you put together something like this, there's always the hoops you have to jump through, the paperwork you have to fill out, and certainly involving FEMA and involving some of these federal organizations. And, we had hoped to maybe break ground late in the fall. I don't know if that's going to happen. It could be earlier next year. But again, the paperwork trail is going. We're halfway through that now. And again, you have to have so many different levels of those paperwork deadlines that you have to meet. We've got people behind us. We've got people who know what they're doing. We've hired a firm that's all they do is to get things in line to get these facilities built. It's going to be a nice addition to our community as well during the inclement weather instances that we have. Again, I think there was some concerns going in of what is this really going to be? Well, it's going to be a place where everyone can go and feel safe. And we're going to have doors open. We're going to have people manning the place. It's not going to be anything like you've seen on TV where they had it the Superdome and people wouldn't leave and they just took up residence there. That's not what this is going to be. It's going to be a facility to where you can go and be safe. And when it's safe to return to your home, you certainly can do that. It'll be policed. It'll be under a great umbrella of organization. You can rest assured it's going to be clean. We're going to take care of it, and I look forward to what it brings to our community.
I think it's something the community really needs. It's going to be built to withstand certain amounts of winds and things like that in case of tornadoes, and this community needed that.
Absolutely, Charles. And in the last 8 to 10 years, you think about all the weather instances we've had just in our surrounding areas, be it at Hickman, be it, down the road in Obion County, just outside in Weakley County. Think of all the tornadoes, the straight line winds. We seemingly are in a period of weather to where we're catching a lot of bad stuff right now. And I think it just gives you a sense of comfort, a sense of peace that I can go and I can get somewhere and I'm going to be safe. This is going to be a magnificent structure. And we're going to play some basketball in it. I think it's a situation to where anybody who's been in our current situation and our current gymnasium knows that it's a nice place. But, Charles, it was built in the 70s, so that makes it about 50 years old. And I don't care what you do, you can't preserve something forever. And we've gotten great use, a lot of memories there. We have our Hall of Honors there. We play volleyball there now. Our middle school plays a lot of their regular season games in Marty Cisco Gymnasium. But I'll tell you, we're looking forward to getting there, and it's going to seat about 3,000. So people are going to have places to get. We're going to have media rooms. We're going to have opportunities for people to stretch out a little bit. You're not going to be on top of each other. Great concession areas. And again, I think it's going to be a very well-received addition to this community.
I agree. I think it's going to give Union City and the school system opportunity to be a host of some very, very big events.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. That's a great point, Charles. You bring that up. I think there's going to be opportunities to host some tournaments,
yes,
be it Christmas tournaments, holiday tournaments, or even postseason tournaments. I think what you look for if you're in that situation is a place where you can have parking, you can get folks in and out. They're not on top of each other. There's not the fire marshal standing in the door saying, hey, you can't have any more in here. And our place is going to allow folks to come and be able to enjoy and watch an athletic contest and do so in a comfortable manner.
We are speaking with Mike Hutchens, Union City School Communications Director, and it's always a pleasure to have Mike on our program. With the start of school, athletics and band begin in high gear. It gets the community going when athletics starts in the community.
Always a lot of excitement, Charles.
Even when school starts, the community just gets going.
Well, it gives the community, I think, something to rally around, something to support. We had our fourth annual Purple and Gold Jamboree with Covington this past Friday night. And, it's always a great moneymaker and certainly a lot of excitement there. We recognized our state championship track team in between game ceremonies before our high school played and after our middle school played. And that was just a wonderful accomplishment from our young people. We had multiple individual state champions, Charles, from Aiden Reed to Adrian Crawford and Kyle Price, and they just had just a tremendous showing last year during the spring fling and added to the sports lore that is Union City Schools. And we're always excited about the band, and they'll begin their competitions in late September, and they'll travel around West Tennessee. And Jason Dean's been with our program for so many years and does a great job. And he's been an assistant, so he understands that role. He's been out the band leader, and the director of bands. He has Joe Davis as his assistant now, and they do a great job with our kids who work so hard. Our fall sports, we've got a real promising volleyball team returning this year, Charles. They went to the state tournament under Jessica Graham and Eddie Suter last year. We're going to have, I think, a really good girls basketball team with Mason Story. Shanila Moss returns for her junior years. Had a great summer playing globally, played all over the United States. Bill Cale is going to be our new head boys basketball coach. People are familiar from his days at Obion County Central and as a Union City Middle School coach. We're excited about what Cale brings to our program. And then we'll get into the spring stuff again, and we'll have tennis and track, and we have so many things going on. It seems like an event every day. Softball and baseball, new head coach in baseball, and Austin Atwell, who was a player here for Union City. What a great young man, and I feel great about our program being in his hands over the next several years. Stevie Gossett returns as our softball coach. Wade Maddox has done a tremendous job with our track route. Charles, I think you look at Wade Maddox, and he was successful as a defensive coordinator in football, was on a state championship squad. He took our softball to the state tournament. Now he's won a state championship with track. He's going to take over some athletic director duties as well, and I think it's going to be a really good addition to our administrative staff with Union City Schools. And we're just excited, again, personnel all throughout our system. We got a new tandem at our middle school. Cole McAdams steps out of baseball and is a new principal at our middle school. He's been the assistant principal the last couple of years. He's brought on Allison Cale, who is the wife of Bill Cale, and I said the smarter and certainly the better looking of that Cale family there. And she's going to be his assistant principal or whatever. We're excited about their leadership, a lot of new ideas. They've gotten off to a great start. They're inquisitive. They want to learn. They ask questions, and they're not afraid of decision-making responsibilities nor everything that goes with that. And we're excited about what they bring. Jacob Cross is a veteran, at our high school, and John Graham, he does such a super job with so many things. He's kind of our Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot of different things, and he fills a lot of different roles. And at our elementary school, we've got Allison Palmer, who has now become a veteran in our administration there, and Bill Cale is her assistant there. Charles, when your administration is strong, your school system's strong. We feel real confident in our folks there. That they're young enough, but yet they've gotten some seasoning over the last several years, and I think that the future is very bright for all three of our schools on different campuses.
It appears everything is positioned very well.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about all of the athletics and the band, and there's so many opportunities for these students to take part somehow, some way.
If you know your niche,
right,
there's something there for you in Union City Schools. And if you don't know your niche, we can find it for you. And I'll tell you right now, just the opportunities, whether it's whatever. Again, our drama and art club, and we have so many civic clubs that are involved in many different things. And, and we have some talented kids, Charles, and we send them off. And I know a lot of folks get caught up in test scores, and we certainly have those, the sixth highest ranked ACT scores in the state of Tennessee. Great accomplishment there, but it's far more than test scores at Union City. It's activities. It's an opportunity to network. It's an opportunity to build relationships that help you into adulthood.
We are fixing to start the season for football, high school football, and everybody's really excited about that. And again, you've already mentioned that the Golden Tornadoes will be moving up to Class 2A competition. What does that look like as far as the competition this year?
Well, it's kind of a who's who of rural West Tennessee programs, Charles. I think if you look back 10, 15, 20 years ago, you always think of the perennial powerhouse programs. There's Milan, there's Huntington, there's Peabody. Folks that Union City played when they were 2A previously. It's a heck of a region right now. It's Region 7 2A. It has those three. Then you add Jackson Central Mary, who's always athletic. Got a new stadium there in Jackson, just tremendous facility there that we'll get to experience. Gibson County and Halls. Halls has been in single A in the past, and they're moving up as well with us. Gibson County has had some growing pains in football, but it's a really good league, and our club and our coaches, Charles, we don't dodge a lot of people at Union City, and a lot of that's out of necessity because a lot of folks don't want to play Union City because of the success, because of the physicality and the style of which they played. Those folks at Milan and Huntington, they embrace that as well, and they'll be certainly ready to play. Our non-region schedule is tough. We got Jackson Christian School. We'll open the season with them in a couple of weeks, and they're expected to compete on the Division II level for a state title. We've got 4A Dyer County. We've got Riverside, which has played in back-to-back state championships a couple of years ago. Very physical football team. We got Crittenden County, Kentucky, that we'll have a home and home with the next couple of years. So, again, we're going to see some good folks. Obviously, we're like everybody else. We've got to stay healthy. We've got some depth issues. It's kind of tough sometimes when you lose a particular kid and then you have to replace him, and then it's kind of a domino effect of then you got to replace him, and then you got to replace him on down the line. But our kids are gritty. They're well coached. Nick Markle begins his 6th season here. We know what he's capable of doing. 3 consecutive years of state quarterfinals in Class A. So we've had success under Coach Markle. His staff's going to look a little bit different this year. Dekaria Stevens is going to step into a major role there as an assistant. Savian Hastelet's back for another year as an aide. Andrew Nips moving up from the middle school to the high school staff, and Preston Martin, who was assistant coach on the 09 state championship team. He has returned to the area, and he has rejoined the staff and brings a lot of experience with him. So it's going to look a little bit different staff-wise. It's a staff that has just the right demeanor. I think they have just the right age. Charles, you can be too young and you can be too old, but these guys are all kind of right in the middle. I think they have some seasoning from some past successes and some past lumps too, and I think our football program's in good shape right now. Mm-hmm. And one of the calls that we always got in the last few years is I don't know some of these teams that we're playing. I promise you, if you've been in football in West Tennessee, you know the Milans, you know the Huntingtons, you know the Peabodys, Tab Val, South Fulton boy, a new head coach at Peabody, Eric Knott, who was the head coach at South Fulton the last 12 years. He's a defensive coordinator now at Milan with Wade Comer. Eric Swinson and Huntington's seemingly been there forever, and they'll be a very physical football team that had a really good opening week scrimmage against Westview and that touted offense for the Chargers there. So I can promise you're going to see some old-timey football. You're going to see some folks that line up and be physical and run the football, and you're going to see some teams that are going to be playing deep into the postseason because that's how good this region's going to be.
Hey, I also want to talk to you about a new trend we're seeing here in the high school ranks, very similar to what's going on in the college, with students now able to move around. Are we getting on a slippery slope here, maybe?
No question. No doubt in my mind. I think I told you we had some conversations privately in the past. It's going to turn into the Wild West. Charles, I think, because right now there's so much uncertainty. Is the TSSAA going to remain the state governing body? Is the legislature going to step in and have their own takeover there to where they control high school athletics? And I think some of the provisions and the changes that are being made right now, it's not good. For the sport. There was always the old adage at baseball games and Cardinal games and Cub games, you can't tell the players without a scorecard. I think that's where we're going, Charles, because we're having so many transfers. Right now, and again, I expect this to be tweaked. You can have essentially what is a one-time transfer if you have, if the school where you are does not have a academic program you want, or there is a mental stress issue. All you do is go to another program. That program will send a letter to your current school. You have 7 days to respond. If you don't respond, that's essentially given the go-ahead for them to transfer and be immediately eligible. Previously, you had to have a change of address to be eligible, and that's still part of the rule process, but That's not the only way you can become eligible. And what you're seeing is people jump ship. You're seeing people go to other programs. You're seeing essentially recruiting in high school. You know, it was always the knock on the private schools. Well, they just recruit. They just come here and get our kids. Well, I think you're seeing some programs try to make their program more sexy, more attractive. Hey, you come here and you can play with this person, or you can come here and you can play deep into the postseason or whatever. And I just don't think it's good for the sport. I don't think it's good for kids, and I don't think it's good for the atmosphere and the environment that's our high school athletics right now.
And we're just beginning with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I expect it to be tweaked. You know, again, you can, and let me back up, you can, when you go to a different school, if you're saying I'm going for an academic reason because my old school doesn't offer ag and this new school does offer ag, and I want to experience that program. And if they contact your old school and the old school said, no, they're going for athletic purposes, then you can still have a hardship case with the TSSAA. They'll go before the Board of Control and they'll determine their eligibility or not. So, you know, there's more ways to get eligible and to do this than there is for you not to. And I just think that, again, you are sending the wrong message. We've seen and we've heard on different levels of, hey, I don't like the way things are going. I don't like the coach. I don't like the atmosphere and the environment, so I'm just going to leave. Or I'm not getting any playing time, so I'm going to leave and get out of here or whatever. And it's just giving people excuses who don't get their way to go and get their way somewhere else.
Well, you and I talked that we do not see any change or going back to college sports the way they are.
Too much money involved,
Charles. With the pay.
Yeah.
You're not going to just say, okay, we're not going to pay kids anymore.
Yeah.
So I hate to see high school sports go down this road.
The NIL is drastically altered everything. It will filter its way down, and we're having some people in other areas of the state and even some locally in our area in rural West Tennessee, of where some kids are being given some sponsorships, getting paid, shoe deals. You know, I mean, all of this was so foreign, and that was what made, I thought, high school special. Charles, you know, you played for the love of the game. You played for the love of your folks that were on the other side of the ball with you, or that were your teammates. And I think that right now and I understand that it's a business. I understand collegiate athletics is a business, and universities are making great deals of money and great sums of money or whatever. And, it needs to be divided. It needs this and it needs that. I get all of that, but I'm telling you, our high school game was almost sacred. You know, I mean, Charles, you go back to the class reunions in your 30-year class reunion, and you talk about, hey, you remember that off-tackle play we ran against Milan back in '68, and, you know, and so-and-so went 68. That's what you talk about. You don't talk about technology. You don't talk about what kind of car you had. You don't talk about how many ducks you killed in a duck blind or whatever. Athletics is so important. It's so shaping into who we are and who we're going to be or whatever, and I just hate to see it ruined by these decisions and these decisions that are being made by people who really don't have the kids' best interests at heart.
They may talk about, how much money did you make when you was a senior?
Well, it's like, you know, Charles, I wore a Starsky and Hutch T-shirt under my pads, and now we give kids and programs, they have all kinds of swag underneath. They drink Gatorade and eat pregame meals, postgame meals. I was lucky to get a swig of water from the bathroom sink in the dressing room, you know, and it has changed. I don't want to sound like the old guy, get off my lawn, but I just think that you're treading dangerous water when you're talking about high school kids. And hey, let's call a spade too. Charles, a lot of parents are living vicariously through their kids, right. Whether they were successful or not, but they're living vicariously through their kids. I don't know that they always make the best decisions when that's the case. Today's special guest, Mr. Mike Hutchens, Union City School Communications Director. Again, it's always a pleasure to have Mike on the program, and he and I talk quite often during the week. He sends out a lot of great information to keep the Union City school system in the forefront. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your friendship more than anything. We talk a lot about networking. We talk about friendships, and certainly you and I have become awful close over the years. I appreciate what Thunderbolt Broadcasting does for Union City Schools. Mike Hutchens, again, the Union City School Communications Director.
And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.